If you
Recording in
remember, it's
progress.
okay. Otherwise, just listen. Okay. Yes. That's the reason I'll tell you. Please read. Read before coming to the class. You have to read it. Otherwise, every class is a demo class only. Okay. Yeah. This is a list. Contain how many values are there? 5 values. I want to read for value in which one? List one. So what this for loop will do, every time it will read one value, and after reading value, yes, I just print all these values. Now how many values are read? 5 values. If you want to read each time one value, and if you want to read each time one value, if you want to read each time one value and perform certain operation, you can do that by using which one? For loop. For example, so write a program to print sum of even and odd numbers exist in what here? List. I want to print the sum of even and odd numbers. I want to print the sum of even and odd numbers exist in the list. Sum of even and odd numbers exist in the list. Now this is a list which contain randomly some numbers, numbers here. Okay, some randomly some numbers are there, but I want to print the sum of these numbers. Okay, so like this, you have a numbers, but you have to write a program to find the sum of which numbers? Even numbers. And you have to find the sum of which numbers? Odd numbers. You have to find the sum of even numbers, and you have to find the sum of which numbers? Odd numbers. So here I have to declare two variables. One variable is even number sum. And what is initially even number sum? 0. There is one more variable. And what is that variable? Odd number sum. And what is odd number sum? 0. Then each time you should read a value from the list. For A, what is the name of the variable? A. So for A in what here? List 1. So what will happen every time? It will read one value from the list. What is the first value read from the list? 1. What is the value of A? 1. Then after reading, you have to verify, is it the number is which number? Even number or odd number. If A mod 2 equal to 0, then even number sum equal to even number sum plus. Even number sum plus what? A. Else odd number sum equal to odd number sum plus what here? A. So what is the first value? 1. 1 mod 2 equal to 0? No. So then it will add this 1 to which number sum? Odd number sum. That is 0 plus 1 becomes what? 1. Then next, read the next value. What is the next value? 5. Is it 5 mod 2 equal to 0? No. Then 1 plus 5, it becomes what? 6. Then read the next value, 7. 7 mod 2 equal to 0? No. Now 6 plus 7, it becomes 13. Then read the next value, 8. So is it 8 mod 2 equal to 0? Yes. So 0 plus 8 becomes what? 8. Now that is, you are adding even numbers. You are printing sum of even numbers and odd numbers. So print. Now I try to print a list. Now list is, I just print a list 1 here. List is, I try to print a list 1. And then after that, I try to print. So print format, even, okay, even numbers sum. Even numbers sum. Then what is the name of the variable? Even numbers sum. Format. This is with sum. Odd numbers sum. then you are trying to display which variable? Odd numbers sum. Now you can see this is a list, but even numbers sum is 8 only, because there is only one even number, and remaining all numbers are which one? Odd numbers only, right? So what is the sum of odd numbers here? 208. But how you are reading values from the list by using, how you are reading values from the list by using what? For loop. How you are reading values from the list using for loop. For loop you are using it. So every time you are reading value from the list using for loop. For example, now you have a values. Now write a program to count prime numbers exist within list. How many prime numbers are there in the list? I want to count it. Now there is a list one contain some values. Okay, now these are some values are there. Okay, now I want to know how many prime numbers are there. I want to count how many prime numbers are there in the list. I want to count how many prime numbers are there in the list for number in list one. So every time you are reading one number, see, this is a variable name, and this variable name can be anything. What is the name of this variable? Number. So what is the value of number here? 1. Next, what is the value of number? 6. Next, what is the value of number? 8. Next, what is the value of number? 4. Next, what is the value of number? 10. After reading each number, you have to find out, is it that number is a prime number or not? How can you find out number is a prime number or not? You have to count the factors. How many times it is divisible? Okay. So count is a 0, and for in range of 1 comma number plus 1. If number mod I double equal to 0, then count is a count plus 1. You are counting how many times it is divisible. For example, 6 is there. What is the value of number 6? Then you are dividing 6 by 1, 6 by 2, 6 by 3, 6 by 4, 6 by 5, and 6 by 6. How many times it is divisible? More than 1, more than 2 times or not? Yes, it's not a prime number. Now, assume that there is a value called some 15 is there. Okay, 15. What is the value of number 15? Count is what here? 0. 15 mod 1, 15 mod 2, 15 mod 3, 15 mod 4. Up to you are dividing what? 15. If it is divisible 2 times, if the count is a 2, then I'm saying print which number it is? Prime number. That's all. Once you run this, how many prime numbers are there? Only one prime number. And what is that prime number here? 19. Okay, only one prime number is there. And what is the number? 19, right? Yes. You have to understand this. How can you read values from the sequence? You can read the values from the sequence using different approaches. You can read values from the sequence using different approaches. Now, this is a value. What is the value I've taken here? Yes, only one prime number is there. How many prime numbers are there in the list? Only one prime number is there in the list. You can read the values using index. You can read the values using slicing. You can read the values using for loop. You can also read the values using which one? Iterator is there. So there is one more way of reading the content of the sequence, and you can read the content of the sequence even by using which one? Iterator. Iterator also there. Okay, iterator also there. So by using iterator, you can iterate, means read values from the sequence, means any collection. Okay, generally iterators are used for non-index based collections. For example, sequences are there. Now sequences are how many here? List is list, tuple, okay, string, range, okay. So range, bytes, and one more is a byte array. Now all these are called which one here? Sequences. But all the sequences are which one here? Index based. Means you can read the data from this sequence by using what here? Index. For example, there is other types out there like sets out there. Now sets are not index based. Sets are not index based. Now there is a set and there is one more which is called as a frozen set, but these are not index based. Non-index based means you cannot read it by using index. Then how can I read data from this non-index base? How can I read the data from this non-index base? Then I take the help of which one? Iterator. How can I read the data from this non-index base? By using which one? Iterate. So using iterator, you can iterate the values from index based as well as what? Non-index based. But most of the times iterators are used with which one? Non-index based, because you cannot read it by using its position. So iterator is an object, right? Iterator object. Now there is a function is there. ITER. There is one function called ITER is a function. What is the name of the function is? ITER is a function, and this will return which object here? Iterator object. See here, ITER is a function. Return which object here? Iterator object. This will return iterator object. So what is iterator? An object representing a stream of data. What is iterator? Is an object which represent a stream of data, and repeated calls to the iterator's next method return successive items in the stream. Stream here. Now whenever you are talking about iterator, so what is iterator? So the definition is like this. What is iterator? So what is iterator is, now this is a definition is given. Okay, what is iterator here? An object representing a stream of data. An object representing a stream of data. Now repeated calls to the iterator next method return successive items in the stream. When no more data are available, a stop iteration exception is raised. If there is no data, then it will give error. What is that error? Stop iteration. For example, you have a list. Okay, assume that this is a list object. So having some values in the list object, right? So how many values are there in the list object? 5 values are there. 5 values are there in the list object. So these are 5 values which are there in the list. Now I want to read this content. I want to read the content of this. Then to read the content of this, I take the help of another object. And what is this object I'm taking help of? Iterator. So iterator hold which object here? List object. What iterator hold here? Iterator, it is just like a stream. Stream is nothing but a pipe. What is a stream? Is just like a pipe through which you read the data. So there is a connection between the iterator and this list object. Now using this iterator, what do you do it? You read the data. Using this iterator, what do you do it? You read the data from where? List. But how you are reading the data? In which order? Sequential order. So an object representing a stream of data. Now this is the object which represent iterator is connected to what? Some source. This iterator is reading the data from where? Some source. And what is the source for this iterator? What is the source for this iterator here? List. This iterator is reading the data from where? List. So, but how it is reading the data? One by one. But how to read the data? You should call one function And what is the name of this function here? Next. Okay, suppose assume that the name of this iterator is A. What is the name of this iterator object here? A. So by calling next method, it will return next value from the stream. What is the next value? Now, what is the name of this method? Underscore underscore next underscore underscore. Now, this is a special method and this will return next value from the list. What is the next value from the list? 10. And if I'm saying A dot, if I'm writing next, it will return the next value from the list, which is 20, and A dot underscore underscore next, and if I'm writing this, it will return the next value from the list, and that is 30. A dot next, so that will return one more value, which is 40, and A dot next, and if I say this will return 50, but if I say next, but is it any values to read here? No. Then it generate which error? Stop iteration error. It generates which error? Stop iteration error, because is it all the values are read from the list or not? Yes. But how you read it? By using iterator. But iterator reads data in which direction? Forward direction. And it is read only. Iterator is read only as well as what? Forward only. Iterator is read only as well as forward only. This is very much useful if you are working with the functions. Okay. Iterator is read only as well as what? Forward only. Iterator. So iterator is read only. Yes. Iterator object is read. Iterator object is read only and forward only, right? Forward only means it read data or objects in which direction? Forward direction. But it allows to read. Iterator allows to read but doesn't allow to modify. Iterator allows to read, not allows to which one? Modify the data. So there's no methods to modify. Then how to create? Iterator object. How to create iterator object? Now there is one function. And what is the function? Iterator, and it followed by iterable, or you write any collection. So there is one predefined function is there. And what is the name of the function here? ITER is a function. So this function returns. Okay, this function returns which object here? Iterator object. And this iterator object hold reference of which one? Iterable. So whenever you iterate, this iterator object iterate the values from where? Collection. But this is read only as well as what? Forward only. You can read it, but you cannot do any changes. But this is very much useful if you are working with the functions. But just remember how to read it with the help of which object? Iterator object. So by calling the next method, it will return successive items from where? Stream. Stream is nothing but the flow of data. Now stream is nothing but which is source from where you are reading the data. The source from where you are reading the data. Now this iterator required one source. By using the source where you are reading the data, right? Yes. Then how to read data by using iterator, and how to read the data from enumerate. This we'll talk about, but not today. But tomorrow we'll see how to work with iterator, and one more is enumerate. And then we'll see the applications like list is not immutable. List is what? Mutable. Means after creation of list, you can add, update as well as what? Delete. After creating list, you can add, update as well as delete. But how to perform all these operations, we'll see tomorrow that, right? So today we'll stop here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? Thank you.